This film is a documentary about the Fumes, a band formed in 2008 in Phnom Penh that went on to last in one form or another for 9 years on the Phnom Penh scene. We were actually formed a year before the Cambodia Space Project, and although of course we would never become as well known as them, we were at one point one of the stalwarts of the Phnom Penh music scene. We originally started as a teacher's band for the International School of Phnom Penh. At the age of 55, I'd never played drums before. Say that as good as I felt that I might have been getting, I was always brought down to earth when I saw the drummers in other live bands from around the city. This video is an attempt at a visual diary of the Fumes from 2008 through to 2017. Many of the video clips were filmed on fans' mobile phones, and so the quality of sound and pictures can be very variable. But hopefully it will give you a flavour of what we were like and a feel for the Phnom Penh music scene of the time.
I promise that I'll run away with you. I'll run away with you.
So why I joined the Fumes? Well, one day an email popped in my inbox saying who wants to be in a rock band. Showed up and there were 3 people who all wanted to play guitars, 0 people who wanted to sing, and 1 who played drums, but had never actually drummed before and wanted to be in the band. So yeah, why not? Gave it a shot. The next thing I knew, we were out playing our first gig, which was at the party at the director's house, Christmas party. That was a good fun. And then from there, we just eventually got sets together and got out playing. It was a really good night.
Dream of all the different ways I had to make a move. Why are you so far away? She said, but won't you?
And I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding right before the Lord. All the words are gonna bleed from me, and I will sing no more. And the feeling coming from my heart says find a home. I wish I was special. You're so very special. But I'm a freak. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control.
In Phnom Penh in the year of 2009 with my family from Manila, and was keen to improve as a musician and play with others. Met Darren, Jen and Brian at school. We all worked at the International School of Phnom Penh. All loved music, all played instruments. Jen, very accomplished vocalist, guitarist. Similarly, Darren lived music as a music teacher. Me and Brian kind of learning our instruments really. And even though I've been playing guitar for years, I'd only really became sort of maybe performance ready in the years just preceding 2009 when I was playing much more in Manila. And Phnom Penh being Phnom Penh, fun things to do, but not much in the way of indie music to be heard. So it was quite inspiring for us to say, well, let's just get together. I remember chatting to Darren one day saying, hey, I'd love to play with other people, are you interested? He said yes. Similarly, Brian was like, I play drums, fantastic. Jen, clearly a vocalist, yes, let's get together. So we'd get together in the hall where the music lessons would happen in ISPP, Darren's zone, and he had all the kit, the patch cables, the drum kit. we'd get together on Wednesday nights, we'd all bring beers, and we'd all just, get together and play the music that we loved. And I remember also at the time that Jen was, I think, in the Chelsea Clintons with her friend Elise. And I do distinctly feel that I really wanted Elise to join our band on keyboard or guitar, so she joined us. Then Jen moved on. She left us at the end of 2009. And I met Karen through mutual friends of ours. Karen lived in Manila, where mutual friends of ours lived. They were passing through Phnom Penh. Karen, she just moved to Phnom Penh. We were brought together by this friend of ours. Karen said, "Hey, I sing." We're like, "Yeah, we need a singer." And so she joined us and started rehearsing with us.
Don't wanna hear about it. Every single one's got a story too. Walking on the beach, looking at the pictures. But I got the notion, girl, that you got some suntan lotion in that bottle of yours. Spread it all over my peeling skin, baby, that feels real good.
A party by Soular, who said her band was going to be playing. It was some rooftop somewhere in Phnom Penh, and it was a super fun party. And the band was awesome, and I told her later what a rock goddess she was, and how I secretly had always wanted to be in a band, and how awesome it was that she was doing this. And she said, "It's never too late," and I was like, yeah. And she said, actually next year our singer is leaving, and so we might need someone new. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And then she called me the next day, actually, and said, "Guess what? We have a gig in a couple of weeks, and Jenny can't make it, so can you come and sing with us?" And I was like, and I went to band practice, I think, like the next day, and the rest is history. I was in the Fumes from, I want to say, 2009, 2010 to 2014, more or less. So over those years, there was Soular and Brian and Darren and John and Jem and, oh my gosh, Elise and Mike, and all of them. I think I was there for a pretty good stretch.
Gig at the proper venue was at the Cavern Bar, just like the Beatles. This was a very small bar. We played at the rear end of the bar, and it was so narrow that people had to walk through the band to get to the toilet, which didn't impress Soular too much, that she was our guitarist and they had to push past her to get to the toilet. We played a couple of other bars early on, like Talking to a Stranger, but eventually our two main venues were Sharky's and Equinox. Sharky's had a bit of a dubious reputation, but their owner Mike Sue was trying to turn it into a key music venue in town, and we were around at the beginning of this change.
We played at Sharky's. Oh, Sharky's, that sleazy place.
Well, okay, so you called Sharky's a sleazy place, but I remember you had a great relationship with the owners there.
Sharky's was amazing. I mean, it really was skeezy, But both the owners and the ladies were so nice. And I think they liked us too, and I think they liked it when we played. I think we probably drew a bit more of a, how shall we say, wholesome crowd to the venue.
I'm not content to be with you in the daytime. Girl, I want
How did I join the Fumes? Well, I just got lucky, really. Got a job, and there happened to be this band that was kind of the core of it was at the school I was working at, ISPP, and the people that hired me, Tracy and Barry, knew that I liked music, and they put me in touch with Darren, and like most things in life, I got lucky. And there was this fully operational, legendary Phnom Penh band that just happened to need a keyboardist. And I think part of the reason I got in the band was because I did have a cool keyboard, and the keyboard had lots of good sounds. I wasn't exactly a virtuoso player or anything, but met with Brian and Darren and was able to drink beer and play, and I think that helped out a lot. And I managed to be in, the last 3 iterations of the Fumes. So I count myself as being kind of up there with Brian in terms of my length of time in the band, actually. I feel very, very blessed, very lucky, like I said, to have been in the Fumes. Track.
songs was always hilarious. We would have these evenings. Sometimes they were, I think, mostly at our place. And everyone would come over with their long list of songs that they wanted to play, and then everyone would bring like their iPods back in the day and connect up to our system, and we'd play the songs and we'd discuss them, and we would have, everybody had veto power. So like if Darren came with some shit song, we'd be like, no. I'm just really kidding. And then
Who would come up with the worst songs?
God, everybody had some whoppers, I would say. Probably me too, obviously. Probably Darren. I'm kidding, Darren. Joking. No, it was like this super democratic process. We'd go around and everyone would sort of say these songs. And then a lot of times we'd have like unanimous, like, oh my God, that's a great song. And then sometimes we'd have a unanimous, no. It was a really interesting time in Phnom Penh for music. I don't know. I feel like it was the sort of place where, first of all, no international bands ever came, right? So, the music scene was all local, and it was people coming together, and there were amazing bands at that time. I mean, we were spoiled for choice in terms of seeing music on any given weekend. I wonder if that lasted. I don't know. It feels like it was kind of just a sweet spot when we were there at that time.
And I remember that there was just the right kind of dynamic in the band. We'd get together, we'd all present the music that we loved. We all had a veto. If there was a song we hated, we could all say, no, don't want to do that song. And the other band would accept it. We all had enough music that we loved that we would want to play. So we'd go through our playlist and all just play some songs, and we'd all choose music together. I remember some surprises came out of that. Garbage, I'm Only Happy When It Rains. I hated that song when it was a hit. Loved playing it.
I'm only happy when it rains. I'm only happy when it's complicated.
What were some of my best memories of the Fumes? Just the idea of playing on a boat had always been something ever since I saw Sid and Nancy and read the history of the Sex Pistols getting arrested while playing on the boat. I always had that idea that would be such a cool sort of gig. And so with the Fumes, I think we did not one, not two, but 3 or 4, maybe 5 boat gigs, and at least 2 or 3 of them were ostensibly to make money for a good cause. We managed to make a couple $100 to contribute to the construction of a women and children's hospital, and it was just really fun. The first gig was actually so riotous that people had to be called down off the top of the boat from dancing because the floor was actually going up and down. That we're on a second boat that was tied to us, and we had so many people seeing the floor going up and down.
One was so overcrowded that we had to get 2 different boats and enough rope to lash the 2 boats together in the Mekong while the people were partying on the one boat dancing, and then we had the quiet boat strapped and the party goers went back and forth between them. But, yeah, man, Fumes was a great experience.
The first one had 2 boats tied together, and to get from one to another you had to jump over the side. I fear this may have been illegal in many countries.
Got some rope, I've been told. I promise you, I haven't to. Let me take a ride, don't hurt yourself. Want some help, I'll leave myself. Boy wants a cracker, maybe she would like some food. Think I should untie her. Just to be nice with you. Isn't it? How's it feel? Let me clear dirty wings. Let me take a ride. Don't hurt yourself. Want some help? I please myself. Got some rope. I haven't seen happy when it rains. Only happy
awesome. We played in Sihanoukville once. Do you remember when I think Darren organized the bus and everyone got on it and we all went down to Sihanoukville for the weekend? That was a total blast.
We had our first ever world tour in 2013. Well, I use that word loosely because, to be honest, it was only down to Sihanoukville. But if we'd have had invites from other places in the world, we would have gone. It was a great weekend away. 2 nights at the Led Zephyr bar, which unfortunately is gone now. The secretary of our fan club at the school, David, hired a coach to bring down the bands and fans. We arrived at around the time we were due to play, which was not conducive to a good performance. And the fact that said secretary provided massive gin cocktails in 1 litre beakers, he was a scientist like me, didn't help the band members that were on the bus. Nevertheless, we killed it, and it was even better on Saturday.
It's not my problem. It's not my problem. Woo! When I feel heavy metal, woo! And I feel that I need a woo! When I
didn't Better be worth it. So much to die for. I'm contagious. Here we are now. Entertain us. I'm a lotto. And a follow. On a scale. I repeat it. Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Biggest festival break was a huge gig on Diamond Island. I can't remember who the headliners were, but we went on last. This was a full works with a massive stage, just like at real festivals, and a PA to match. I've never heard my drummers quite as well as I did at this gig. I would love to say that there were thousands watching us, but to be honest, by the time we went on late at night, many of the Cambodian crowd had gone home. Still, a not to be forgotten gig.
Ignored by the stiff and the bored, because I'm gonna spin and retrieve, cause I give and receive, because I gonna get through your head what the mist in my said, because I'm gonna hate to say I told you so.
bar, but ostensibly a music venue run by Anthony McGrath, who had a history of working with famous bands in the USA and was also a keen supporter of the burgeoning local music scene.
Equinox was kind of our home stage with Anthony, the cranky sound dude. He was awesome.
I like you. Yeah, go.
And I remember once getting reviewed in the Asian Life magazine, which I have kicking around somewhere. I think there may be a small photo of us before we were playing at the Cavern. The sound was awful. I remember it was not one of our best gigs. The article described us as the Beatles they ain't. I left in 2011 and I've missed the Fumes really ever since. And there was just there was some great music out there, great gypsy band music. I remember the Cambodia Space Project was wonderful. But no one playing the kind of indie alternative music that we all really wanted to hear more of.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. It started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke and she's taking a drag. Now they're going to bed and my stomach is sick and it's all in my head. But
What my favorite thing was about being in the Fumes. It was all so much fun. I think the best part was probably band practice. Not even the gigs and the adoring crowds, but every Wednesday night we would meet up at ISPP in Darren's music room. We would lock the door, we would put the beers in the trash can, add the ice, we'd eat Pringles and we'd play. And we'd plug in and use the sound equipment at the school. That's probably not allowed, but whatever. And we had such a good time. We would play as loud as we wanted, which, that in and of itself was just brilliant. And it was like better than any therapy I've ever been to. And they were my really good friends.
Also, one memory that sticks with me a lot is first practice with Brian and Darren and the rest of the Fumes and Karen. And Jem and I joined at the same time. And I remember walking into practice, and there was Darren huddled over a black plastic can filled with beer. This was in the school, mind you. Filled with beer and delicately perching ice on top of the beer as if he was building a fire. I kind of felt like I was home. I was like, wow, this should be a fun band to be a part of. I've never been in a band where we actually drank and practiced.
and it's all in my head, but she's touching his chest now. He takes off her dress now. Let me go. 'Cause I just can't look. It's killing me. And taking control. Jealousy takes
And the message coming from my heart says leave it alone.
I think.
Chicks all in but Chris and fashion, smashing the truth, beating of it. No joke when her mama's handkerchief is so little tears because her baby brother did really know. The bottle broke, up so focused and took up on the close up, Mr. Wizard never phone. No God like hocus pocus, so you sit back and kick back and watch the boogie push back to the 10-year neighborhood is under a
One songs John and Darren sang. Darren's pièce de résistance was Rage Against the Machine's Killing in the Name of. It invariably got the crowd going wild and produced our one and only true mosh pit, Paddy Rice. Unfortunately, there was no video of that one, but we do have a great video of Darren singing.
So what goes to what forces are the same from crosses. So what goes to what forces are the same from crosses. Killing in the name of. Killing in the name of. Torture. justified. Remember your friend and your chosen wife. Those who died are justified. Remember your friend and your chosen wife. Those who died are justified. Remember your friend and your chosen wife. Those who died are justified. Remember your friend and your chosen wife. I'm gonna take the blue crosses. I'm gonna take the work forces. So I'm going to the work forces. I'm gonna take the blue crosses. Jeder war ein großer Krieger, hielt sich für Kämpfer. Es gab ein großes Feuerwerk, die Nachbarn haben es nicht gedacht. Man fühlt sich gleich eingemacht, da war Bandon am Horizont, so 99 plus Mama. Streichholz und Benzinkanister, sind für schlaue Leute, Winterzünd schon fette Beute, die von Krieg und wollten mal. Mann, wer hätte das gedacht, dass es einmal so weit kommt, 99 plus Ballon. Digga, 99 plus Ballon.
When Jem left, we already had his friend Sonic lined up. They'd already played together in the Fumes. When Karen left, that was a huge hole. We decided to do an audition. We had two possibilities and we chose Christine. Christine was a Cambodian with a very powerful voice, quite different from Karen, but it gave us some other possibilities. Later on, Darren upped and left us out of the blue to go back to Canada, and we managed to get Jet in on bass, who is a musician around town in various bands. Unfortunately, we have very little footage of this iteration of the band.
Of me, bury it. I won't let you bury it. I won't let you smother it. I won't let you murder it. But our time is running out. But our time is running out. You can't push it underground. You can't stop it screaming out. Taking the time right behind my back, and I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette.
We're going to dance. We're going to dance. We're going to dance and have some fun.
Jet left to work in Myanmar and John and I were struggling to find a bassist. Sonic was very busy with other projects, so we made the decision to disband the Fumes. At a later date we found Richard, who was keen to play guitar in a band again. He had previously played in Australia. Bryn, who wanted to play bass, and Nika, who worked at our competitor school, Northbridge. We were going to use some older Fumes material, but there was more of a move towards soul and bluesy numbers, so we decided to go with a new name, Soular Eclipse. We have lots of great photos from this band, but again, very little concert footage, unfortunately.
Now I couldn't ask for another.
Watch out!
The depth of the groove moves us to the nth hoop. We're going through to on years of who. I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't.
Richard and Nika were both leaving Cambodia, so we disbanded Soular Eclipse. Sometime later, John and I decided we'd like to resurrect the Fumes again and approached James, who was a new teacher at ISPP and had sung in a band before. He has a very powerful voice, which allowed us to do some different types of songs as well as some of the older material. Ian Sasker also joined as a guitarist and Bryn came back as our bassist. Ian could sing as well and also wrote songs. Fumes actually played original material for the first time ever with lyrics written by James. Again, very little footage or photos available of this iteration of the Fumes. I guess our gig at Botanica was what you might call a true rock and roll moment, and mainly because of Ian. He had been involved in a motor accident before the gig, and when he arrived for the sound check, he was not feeling good. In fact, he was so bad that we took him to a nearby clinic for some treatment. They put him on a morphine drip for the pain. At this point, he was still determined to play, but I thought it was very likely that we would have to cancel because it was not looking good. This was our first time playing at Botanica. There was a big crowd scheduled. Still, they would have enjoyed themselves just drinking homebrew beer anyway. I went back to the clinic to see if he was okay, and he'd already discharged himself and was back at the gig ready to go. He played the whole night sitting on a chair. It was absolutely unbelievable. I apologise for the quality of both the pictures and sound from this gig. However, it is the main footage we have of this version of the Fumes, so I decided to include just a small selection of what was recorded.
Love like a fever, don't you ever come down. Spread your love like a fever, don't you ever come down. Spread my love like a fever, don't you ever come down. You don't have my number. I don't need your good advice. You don't have my city street. We don't have each other now. 'Cause I feel alive, feel alive. I feel alive, feel alive. I feel the streets are pulling me down. What this kind of person in you should Darling, you got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? If you say that you are mine, I'll be here till the end of time. So you got to let me know. stay or should I go? It's always tease, tease, tease. You're happy when I'm on my knees. One day it's fine and next it's black. So if you want me off your back, well come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go there will be trouble, and if I stay it will be double. So come on and let me know. These indecisions bugging me. If you don't want me, set me free. Exactly whom I'm supposed to be. Don't you know which clothes even fit me? Come on and let me know. Should I cool it or should I blow? Split. Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go there will be trouble.